What's going on YouTube? This is SP3 Gaming and I am back with another video. I'm going to be playing some MXGP 2020 today. I don't typically do game reviews, but I really felt the need to get on there and say my 2 cents because this game's got me feeling some type of way, and I don't know how to... I don't normally do this, but I just feel compelled to do it this time because there's certain things that are going on in this game that I just think need to be put out there because... And it might just be my game, it might be a handful of people's games, but it's a bug, or a variation of bugs. So the game's been out since, I would guess, I didn't download it as soon as it was available, but I'm assuming midnight, my time, or Pacific time, or however they set the Steam release. However they set that up. But I got on it this morning, and I've been playing it for probably about an hour and a half now. And I just wanted to go through and just really show some gameplay, some quick gameplay, and then go into the customization, because that's the customization where I feel like they've really made a huge mistake. And I'm gonna say this in the first third minute of the video: there is no track editor as it sits right now. There's no track editor. I'm on their Discord, and I guess that the track editor with a couple more tracks is going to be coming sometime next week. In my honest opinion, that's something that they should have stated before releasing the game. Still charts that same amount, but people were coming into this expecting a track editor, and it's not here. Same thing with some of the tracks. I think in one of the trailers they talked about having full 2020 series as it was supposed to be. There are 15 tracks on the game as it sits right now. I have already done one update to this game. I don't know if that was just an incomplete file that didn't download on my side or what happened, but there was already an update out. I had little green text up in the top left hand corner, and it was basically like I was playing like a demo version, a pre-alpha build or something like that, because it was showing like coding, and it was changing. And it was specifically dated back to like November 20th or something like that. So obviously today is December 16th, so whatever that little issue was, that was just more of an eyesore than anything, but it's gone. Also, gameplay wise, there is no first person camera, so you can only play in this up close camera, third person, and then this back camera. I've been told that's also coming in an update, but yeah, not really sure what to think about the game so far. I think the physics, they're similar to Supercross 3 in the aspect of how free it is. You can kind of flip the bike around however you want to. There's still canned whips, which I'll do it in this race. Since I'm learning the game and the physics and trying to kind of compensate for what I feel are a bit of, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this game right now. I've bought every MXGP and Supercross game since it's come out, and I don't know. I've played a couple of the races in the career mode. I've played 3 total races, and it's rained for 5 of those. Well, I guess going into this, it's rained every round but 1. I know it says it's supposed to be random, but it seems like they gotta fix the rain feature, because it's cool to look at, but I've raced more in the rain than I have in anything else. So the AI, in terms of, again, I'm an hour in, so I know typically by 4, 5, 6 hours in, I can smoke the AI on realistic. As it sits right now, I'm still not that far into it, so the AI are still at least a little bit challenging, but I don't know. The game just doesn't feel like it's got the flow to it that I've normally seen in MXGP games. And I'm coming fresh from playing Supercross 3, so I would have figured that the learning curve would have been less than coming from something like going from MXGP 2019 to MXGP 20. But there's just like little things that are happening in the gameplay that are a little annoying. Like the knifing thing's probably the biggest thing for me. The AI appear to battle back a little bit. I know my first race that I played, I got into a pretty gnarly battle with Tom Bial, and it was pretty cool. I passed him, and I mean, it was cool. It was cool to see that the AI at least seemed to fight back a little bit. It may have been just dumb luck on my part, but it seemed like he was taking a line specifically to block me from passing him. He went to the inside, I went to the outside. He faded out, and yeah, I mean, at least in the get-go, the AI seemed harder off the bat. I can't remember which MXGP it was, but one of the MXGP games, I was able to smoke the AI in realistic difficulty in my first race on a stock bike. Now, I have gone through and I've updated this bike. I've used the money mod, which if that's something you guys want to see, I really wanted to get in and try to see how the game played. Because, I mean, playing against the AI on a stock bike on realistic difficulty kind of sets you at a disadvantage, so I wanted to do kind of apples to apples for this review. But yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that. It's like, it's weird. It's like it's banking off of I don't know. It's like I'm hitting a wall and it's just sending the bike in another direction. And it doesn't do it all the time, which I don't know if that's just like a little glitch, if I'm hitting the jump a little wrong compared to how the game wants me to hit it, or what. But it's just like little things that are happening, and it's the bike, it moves a lot more. So the way that I would ride it, and that's probably just me needing to go in and play the game. I like I said, I've played this game for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours total. Like, I've raced probably what, 5. This is my third career mode race, third weekend. So that's 4 races. This is my 5th race. Probably 20 minutes total of racing. So I probably just need a little bit more time in the game to really digest the physics and how they work. But yeah, this is very, very early gameplay for me, and I just wanted to go on because there's some things that I feel are paramount, and they're just fundamentally wrong with the game. Physics, not so much. It's more the stuff that's outside of the physics, which I'm actually going to go in and do that right now. So, they added the feature back in that they didn't have in Supercross, and I don't know if that's something that Supercross wanted to have removed, but they have the option to retire from the event, which I think I like that feature. It gives me the ability to, if I'm riding crappy on a track, like I do awful at Matterley Basin. I don't know why, but I do awful, terrible, and that's just how it works. I don't know what this last race is supposed to be, but it shows the last race. I think it's just showing their previous finish, I guess. I don't really know. If you notice too, while you're racing, you lost 2 riders. You went down from 22 down to 20. With the upcoming launch on PS5, I think they said the PS5 and Xbox One X, Series X, whatever the hell it's called, it's supposed to have supposed to release on the 15th of January, 14th, something like that, mid-January. I'm hoping that they're able to expand the paddock, because having 20 riders, losing 2 riders when you were able to do 22 riders in the previous game, just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If anything, they should be adding more riders. At some point, they should be getting up to a full gate of 40 riders, or at 30, or whatever they're going to do. They've got to add more riders. But I'm going to go into the customization just to show you guys some really quick stuff, and things that kind of irritated me a little bit. So here are the names. The fonts, as far as last names that you put on your back of your thing, are the same. Here's my issue. You can't adjust it. You can't do anything to this. So, like, that one's okay. That one's okay. That one's a little too big. That one's okay. This one's way too big, and I can't change it. So I can't do anything to make it any better. Not that big of a deal with the colors because they're the same thing. Numbers are the same way. The only thing that's different is they've added what, one, two, three, four different number fonts, which is a good thing. I like that they've done that. So they've got the general, the general five that they've had. Again, can't change the number size, but then they've added like a skinnier one, the more rounded off one. I would call that more of like it's like an italicized professional number without um, the design into it, and then they got this one, which I consider to be like the more of like the professionalized number. A lot of professional writers you'll see will have those cuts in the numbers. Um, so that's cool. I'm glad that they added that. I just want them to be able to adjust it, and I don't see like it doesn't show anywhere on there for me to do it. So I don't know if that's just user error on my side. Um, Same kind of setup. Like the UI of the game feels pretty solid. Like it doesn't feel bad. Um, as far as like what we've got, go all the way up. I do like that they've added this since they're not gonna. They've just put all the. To me, it seems like a tactic to make it look like there's more in the game than there really is. But they don't give you the option to click on a specific brand and then go in. They just have all the helmets listed as one, and you go through and kind of select the one that you want. But you hit RT or LT. I'm playing on an Xbox controller on PC, but you hit RT and you go to the next brand. So you have 60 Acerbis. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know and I'll correct it. Arrow, Alpine Stars, Arai, Bell. Bell's a helmet that I've been waiting to see in here for a pretty long time, so I'm glad that they've got it in there. Fox helmets. What is that? FXR, HJC, IXS, Just One, KYT or KVT, KYT, Liet, O'Neill, Scorpion, Shift, Shoei, Shot, Suamoy, I don't know, Thor, and then TLD, and then Unit. So one thing that I'm noticing so far, and as I've gone through and played the game, there's a lot of limitations. Like Oakley has 4 that you can get. 100% has quite a bit more, but it's still like they're missing. Like Thor doesn't have any goggles, and that's fine. I don't like wearing Thor goggles in the game, but Fox has 2 goggles, and that's it. These are all the goggles that you get. So you get to choose between what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different brands. And I don't know, maybe they're planning on in the next patch that they do with the track editor, maybe they're going to have more gear and more and stuff like that. Um, this is it for neck braces. Again, this doesn't really affect me because I don't wear neck braces in the game. So, as terms of gear, you have, a Cherbis 250, Alpine Stars, which with the Alpine Stars, I'm actually pretty happy because that's a gear that I'll wear in the game. They've got a ton, and not too many of them, minus like these couple of ones, have been reused. Like these ones weren't in the game, to my knowledge. I have the mods in too, so I might just be missing a couple. But you have Alpine Stars, you have Circuit, Fly, Fox. Fox shocked me because it only has what, seven gear sets. And usually they have quite a bit more. And I mean, they're even rehashing some of the old ones from the old game. What is this? IXS, Legacy. I don't know that brand at all. O'Neill has a ton comparatively. You got Pro Grip, Scott. 7 finally seems to have gotten almost all new gear. I don't know if all of it's new or not, but they've got a ton of new gear. The Supercross 3 DLC that had the shift gear is in here. That's all they've got right now. One Shot has an ungodly amount of gear. Sway, Thor. Once again, they have the DLC that you got from Supercross 3. That's in the game, and then they've got the newer gear set. And then Troy Lee Designs has 3. UFO has 1. Alpine Stars has a good set of boots. I think that's all. Yeah, you have a Cherbis, Alpine Stars, FM, Liet, Moose, One Shot, TCX, Thor, and that's it. So you're missing City, you're missing Garnier, you're missing Fox boots. There's a couple different things in here. Again, I don't know if this is something they're planning on adding more to once they install the track editor, um, or if this is just it. Again, I'm giving them a little bit of leeway because COVID screwed a bunch of different stuff up, especially in Italy, which I think that's where their team's based. Um, so I'm giving them a little bit of slack, but still at this point, this either shouldn't be a $50 game or it shouldn't have been released on its release date. They should have pushed it back a week to iron out the details, to fix whatever issues that might have been put in here. Um, let's move over to the bikes. So they've got a fair amount of bikes in here. Again, I do like that they've got the more of the pro style number on here versus just the number that didn't look out of at all in place. They do have, where to go? They have gas in here, which is nice. If you go into the bike, let's say you want to go into the liveries, you don't have a ton of options. Now, I mean, granted, gas is a newer brand, so maybe they just didn't have the option to add that many liveries, but same stuff as far as all this. One thing that irritates me, where's it at? The suspension. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have KY. Is that it? It doesn't have KYB. So I mean, there's just some brands and things that are missing that shouldn't be there, or shouldn't be missing rather. Um, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I guess I'm just disappointed in what's been released because it's something that, in my opinion, if it was going to be released this way, that it may not have probably shouldn't have been released like this because it feels incomplete. It feels like there's a lot left to be desired with this game, and I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I've been a huge fan. Like, I've played all the MXGP games. I found something like I generally like the MXGP games. I generally like the Supercross games because they make some small improvements. No, it's not everything that I want, um, but they generally make some improvements. And this seems like it's, for the most part, it's a step back from what they had in MXGP. 2019, it feels like a step back from what they had in Supercross. Again, I'm hoping this is something that they can kind of iron out the details and get everything kind of squared away with this next patch that they do next week, whenever they give you the track editor and a couple more tracks. But as it sits right now, in my honest opinion, I would say don't buy this game until there's been a couple of updates. Um, as it sits as a whole, the game just doesn't feel complete. It doesn't feel like a $50 game should feel. And I mean, it doesn't even feel to the point where it's like it feels it doesn't even feel like a copy and paste of MXGP 19 or copy and paste of Supercross 3. It just feels like a weird mixture between the two that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They're missing brands that were in 2019. And I mean, even at this point, I know people gripe about seeing a lot of the same gear, but I'd rather see the same gear than see the gear sets get cut in half. Um, Now, I will admit that being a part of the PC community, I'm gonna have access to mods to make the game feel a little bit more lively than people that are on Xbox or PlayStation. And for the people that are on those systems, that sucks because unless they release some kind of DLC that's gonna update graphics, it's gonna update the gear sets, it's gonna update these things, like you're stuck with a game that has very limited options in terms of customization. Um, the gameplay I can work with. The gameplay, they will typically release some kind of an update to help bridge that gap so it's not as clunky. And I mean, the game, it's going to get better. Um, Milestone usually releases a couple of updates to where the game it will get better over time. It's just a matter of kind of living through the first week, 2 weeks of the game's life cycle and honestly not really enjoying the game for the first couple of weeks just because it's an unfinished product. And I hate saying that because I do support Milestone. I do support pretty much any game that's in any MX game I've purchased. I got MX bikes. I haven't gotten to that because I suck at it. But as it sits right now, this game, it feels incomplete. It feels like something that should have gotten delayed again, even though people are going to piss and moan about it. It's something that should have happened because when you release an unfinished product, people get pissed. Yeah, they're pissed that the game got pushed back, but they're going to be even more pissed because you're selling them a game at full price. You bought you on Steam. They sell every game, every Steam game for $49.99. MXGP 19 at $49.99 made sense. It had its own issues, but to me, the game was the version that I downloaded. At least it was a complete game, and this just feels like it's missing so much that it should have waited. Um, but yeah, as I get updates with the game, if it's a noticeable update, I'll do another video to give you guys kind of a part two video to compare the two. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and be on the lookout for some more videos, and I'll keep trucking through and see if I can figure some stuff out and get these updates going on the game, so that way you guys can see the progress of the game. But thanks so much, guys. Talk to you in the next one.